Welcome to Daily Invocation Souls Check-in, the source for inspiration and information for your healing, attainment, and liberation.
Today, we're going to dive into and celebrate and enjoy trauma resolution. So let's, for a few moments, invoke that resolution quality and its beautiful tastes, completion, closure, fulfillment,
Freedom,
ease, courage,
trust,
fullness,
satisfaction,
safety,
peace.
and grace.
Hmm.
Much, much grace. It's like we love to say anytime we start diving into trauma, we want to share and feel into how it can be resolved, how we can get beyond, transcend, heal, and get to the So the biggest number one thing we've found for trauma resolution is the necessity of a holistic approach. Approach is to reach the holisticness. Specifically, body, heart, mind, and soul. Or if you prefer, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. When we start working on trauma resolution, integrating and having all those pieces, going from all those angles.
One great example of that, and this is coming from someone who studied psychology and someone who apprenticed with a psychotherapist for many years, from two people who are currently in therapy still and really love and honor that modality. It just isn't quite enough on its own. It's extremely helpful. I was just sharing with Prasad what my therapy was like yesterday. It helped me process a shamanic, another shamanic experience with another helper, right? Another person in the helping world, but it just quite isn't enough on its own.
Because frequently the psychotherapy by itself can be in the mental realm, and we have to have understanding. And like Karuna got rid, we have to have processing. Things need to be processed. And there's a big and. Must have a release from the body. The issues are in the tissues. So important, and we'll dive into that more tomorrow.
And that's why we have Soul Study, which is on Saturday.
So, looking at the integration piece, the body, the heart, the mind, and the soul. The heart, getting back into the trust and the relational field. That's what we have talked about that previously, so we won't get into it a lot here, but so important in trauma resolution, working on relationships. Yes, with ourself. even with the perpetrators, directly or indirectly, and our relationships with our healing professionals. And then we can bring it in our relationships with each other and intimate ones and friends and everyone. So relational healing, so huge, and that hits all the points. Now, back to specific modalities. I, of course, love the power of breath work for many reasons. One is the trauma transformation, very much in the body. Also, very much spiritual and mental cleansing. Breathwork working on all levels. Also, we wanted to talk about the shamanic piece.
Things like constellation healing that I just mentioned. What else? What? None of that. My mind is not on par. I'm day 4 of my T-fast. T-fast.
Whoa, D-fast?
T-fast.
T-fast? T-dast? One of the keys of any sort of shamanic healing is the transgenerational approach, the lineage that also often happens with trauma and precludes us towards traumatic tendencies. So we love that resolution component of diving into the transgenerational nature of traumatic patterning.
It can also get into past lives, so karmic bonding. We talked about trauma bonding yesterday, and these two can be related if it's in your field from other lifetimes, so that might show up. And we've even had experiences in constellations and shamanic work where we're dealing with other dimensions, things that we've done in other dimensions. So it depends how available and open minded you are and what will show up or might show up.
And like we talked about in previous conversations, very important, especially in those realms, is the competency of the facilitator, the practitioner, their comfort level dealing with those things.
Yes.
Whatever healing modality you choose,
Yes.
we're huge fans of somatic, which is in the body and body release, and we might even get a taste of that. We will be getting a taste of that tomorrow.
And so even if the healing worker doesn't apply those modalities, that they're aware and that they're comfortable enough that so if you have therapy and you're also working with someone else in a shamanic or spiritual kind of way, etc., that those two can understand each other. It doesn't mean they have to consult each other, although some therapists like to do that, but that the therapist will understand, oh, okay, I know what it means to have a spiritual teacher. I know what a constellation is, etc. And so when we say we have probably over 30 years worth of soul work between the two of us, these are all the modalities that we've immersed ourselves in for those 30 years combined.
And that we bring to Soul's Enterprise and are delighted to share. One last healing modality I want to mention and give a shout out to, and is way beyond our breadth of knowledge, so we don't get into it or even really advise that way, but we do want to mention that for certain people at certain times, medication can be a really great route for symptom relief. Chemical imbalances is real. We're not psychiatrists, so we
do know some very good ones.
We're happy to refer to tremendous ones.
And also, if you're at a point where your heart, your body, your soul is saying to wean off of medication, then places like where we are now could be helpful with people who are trained to do that. Yeah, we're not trained in addiction or medication.
Yeah.
Pieces of addiction, the psychological effects, but not the other parts.
But we wanted to acknowledge that, yes, certain people at certain times, chemical imbalances can be really wonderfully treated through some medicines.
All right. Well, let us know if you have any more questions. If you're on the journey of searching for your perfect healing team, we would love to know what's on your mind so that we can delve into it together.
Much love, everyone. Much love.